Sup, Nerdmigos? I'm the Jive talking nerd John Norgrove, and this is Nerd Jive. I'm shooting outside because it's beautiful out here, and I have a lot of work for Fanime, so I'm going to do it this way, so that way I can immediately get to work once I'm done shooting this. Kind of space themed today. A little bit off space, but mostly space. So first up is lunar gold mining, and this is pretty cool, right? So this private company called Moon Express is looking to mine the moon and then send what it mines back to Earth. That's kind of a pretty big deal, right? So their whole idea, their CEO, Bob Richards, is quoted as saying, "It will instantly become the most valuable and scarcest material on Earth," which, like, obviously is true. And obviously, part of their thing is to donate some of the things that they mine to science for research and things like that. But what they're looking at is, all right, so like helium-3 is incredibly rare here on Earth, but it is plentiful as a motherfucker on the moon. Helium-3 is a really, really good fuel for fusion. Now, of course, we're not like ready to rock and roll with fusion, but we're getting close. So what he's looking at is, if I can make the supply chain, all scientists have to do is step up their game. Boom. All of a sudden, he's fueling the future of clean energy. Fusion energy is clean energy. There's also things like precious metals on the moon. So the moon has fairly large quantities, or at least good enough quantities to justify, of like platinum and iridium and palladium and other precious metals, which is a really kind of like a really big deal. It justifies sending something to the moon to pick up a bunch of regolith and come back, as well as it lets us have material on Earth to test. Can we extract water from the moon, from lunar regolith? Can we turn lunar regolith, extract the water from it, bake it into bricks, and turn it into building material and things like that? So it's a very lucrative business idea from the get-go. All right, so their first launch is scheduled for 2020. All right, which is kind of a big deal, and this is all very kind of up in the air right now. But the idea is to sell the lunar regolith, launch, bring it back, sell the helium-3, sell the precious metals, sell the water out of it, do the research, donate to science, and make money. They're not here to save humanity. They're here to make money off of it. And lunar regolith, currently, it's a great gold mine. And I don't mean gold like the metal gold, but like, it's the next gold frontier. It's California, if you will, during the expansion west. So it's a great idea, and it's gonna push more people to want to get into that business. So that's amazing. I absolutely love it. Best of luck to Moon Express and their CEO, Bob Richards. I hope it succeeds. Next up is the Gifted trailer. So Fox just released a trailer for their new TV series called The Gifted. So it's real good looking. It's essentially like this daughter, like this girl and her brother have some sort of mutant powers. It seems like general telekinesis, moving stuff with their minds kind of stuff, force shields, that kind of thing, exploding electricity things. And there's this whole, the dad works for the government agency that's trying to regulate mutants, and the mom's like normal and just doesn't want her kids to be weird. The little boy's bullied even though his power's like way greater than his sister's, and his sister has super control, so she's helping him learn how to use it. It looks good. The CGI for their powers looks really good. Like, I have a lot of faith in it. It looks incredibly good, and it looks a lot more like family oriented, but with like a serious plot. It doesn't look like it's gonna really sell the comedy thing. It doesn't look like it's gonna sell like the nostalgia thing. I feel like it's gonna be like your standard sitcom. I mean, it looks like what it's gonna be is the first of many like regular sitcoms, but people have superpowers involved in it, and especially with the cost of CGI and the ease of doing that kind of stuff reducing, I think this is gonna be more and more likely. And in all reality, The Gifted by Fox looks amazing. The bad guys, the agency, the government whoever the hell it is in this, because it's not 100% explained. They look creepy as shit. Like in the trailer, and the trailer's linked below, check it out. But like in the trailer, these guys just like knock on the door and they're like, hey, we're looking for your son Timmy and your daughter, whatever the hell their names are. So we're looking for, and the mom's like, I'm not gonna hand him over to you. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna need you to bring him downstairs. We're gonna, you know, like one of these kind of things. They look super creepy, which is awesome. They have these like anti-mutant spider drone things that show up in the trailer that are like fucking straight up nightmare fuel, which is awesome. It looks really, really good. Check out the trailer below. Come back, tell me what you think about it. I'm pretty excited. I don't know, Fox is like 10%, 90% good and bad TV shows and movies, but I have faith. I think this is going to be really good. I'm looking forward to watching it. So next up, and this is really awesome, flying cars for the Olympics. So Toyota has just recently teamed up with a company called Cardivator. Terrible name. With a company called Cardivator, which is a flying car startup out of Tokushima University. So what these startup, it's like this really small number of like young people working together with some like master drone engineer, have developed a system called SkyDrive. So it's a really lightweight, really small, low-profile flying car. It will only be able to reach about 33 feet above the ground, so it has a really low flight shelf, but it's capable of reaching about 62 miles per hour. So it's going to be full function, but low shelf. So you're not having to worry about people way up in the air or something like that. What Toyota's done is, so they were crowdfunded. It wasn't one of the primary sites. It was another site I didn't recognize the name of. I have an article linked below from Engadget. But so it was crowdfunded. They had a lot of people donate money to it. What Toyota's done is donated millions of dollars, as well as engineering teams to help them bring this to fruition. What Toyota wants is by the 2020 Olympic Games, they want one of these cars to fly in and light the torch. They want this not a proof of concept, but a production class model available by 2020 at the Olympic Games, which is amazing. So what they're hoping to do is have a flying prototype by next year, and then have commercial availability by 2020 in time to light the torch from the Olympic Games. I think that this is kind of a great idea. There's a lot of people, like a lot of people, in this game right now waiting to get in. And I think with Toyota backing a fairly small startup like this, it's going to really push it forward, and I think they're going to do a good job with it. So read the article below if you're interested. Super interesting design, totally different. It's like a small little three-wheel thing. Check it out. Tell me what you think. So next up, back on the space news. So Blue Origin had a loss over the weekend. So on Sunday, Blue Origin tweeted, "We lost a set of power pack test hardware on one of our BE-4 test stands yesterday." So the BE-4 engine is their new engine, which is the engine for their new Glenn rocket. So they're currently running the new Shepards, which have a BE-3. The BE-4 is about 5 times as powerful. So it sounds like they lost one of their test engines on Saturday. Now, they have 2 test racks, and they didn't mention anything about either of their 2 test racks being damaged. And of course, they're in early development, and rocket engines exploding during development is fairly common, so it's not like a big deal. There's no setbacks. But it's, you know, it's kind of one of those, they're shooting to be SpaceX's primary competitor, and SpaceX has a huge fucking lead right now in the market. And so they really, you know, this is not really much of a setback, and they're not even ready to launch a new Glenn, but this is kind of a big deal from a market standpoint. I feel like they really need to up their game, make sure that everything's in place, and just push forward. Hey, we just had this setback, we just had this thing explode. Sell some new stuff, you know, sell the new Shepherd, sell the BE-3, make moves, you know, don't let it fault you. So this is, Blue Origin is owned by, oh, Joyce, I don't have it written down. I believe Blue Origin is owned by Jeff Bezos, which is the CEO of Amazon, if I remember correctly. They've successfully had like 5 launches with the same rocket. They're very small. They're suborbital class right now, so they're not doing nothing like what SpaceX is capable of doing, but they're also a lot younger, and they're making moves fast, real fast. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go with this. They're going to launch something. So yeah, they still have plans to launch the New Shepard, which is their older BE-3 suborbital class rocket, this year, and the BE-4, which is their orbital class, the New Glenn, isn't currently scheduled to be launched this year, but it might come this year, it might come next year. There's not like a lot of data on it, so I'll keep you guys informed the more I hear about that. Last piece of news is real quick, simply because it happened today and I figured I had to talk about it. SpaceX had a launch. They launched the it's a weird word, Inmarsat. So the Inmarsat 5F4, it is a broadband internet satellite. It was launched today at 4:20 Pacific Standard Time. This was sort of an interesting launch for SpaceX. So traditionally, they try to return their first stage to the ground or to one of their 2 floating autonomous barges. So with this, they stripped first stage. They didn't even have landing gear on that thing. They didn't have air fins, nothing. All right, they stripped that to the bare bones and launched it. And the reason why they did that is because this is a huge satellite that they put in this thing, all right? So this satellite is 13,448 pounds, and it needs to be in a high orbit, which is 22,000 miles high orbit. So incredibly high, incredibly heavy. And this is sort of one of those, you know, they were able, it was a totally successful launch. I watched the launch today. Everything's good to go. But it's sort of this interesting cross-section where you can see the maximal range and efficacy of the Falcon 9 standard, and where if they had a Falcon 9 Heavy on this, they would have been able to send that thing up there no problem, land all 3 first stages on the ground no problem. Everything would have been money. So this is again another one of those stepping stones into getting the Falcon 9 Heavy in the air, which is scheduled for this year. I believe they're supposed to do a test flight in September of this year, so September of 2017, if memory serves. But again, I have the telecast, the hosted telecast linked below if you want to rewatch the launch. Absolutely fantastic launch, man. Just beautiful skies, beautiful launch. Everything was like by the books. Absolutely fantastic. It's sad that they weren't able to bring it back to the Earth, but you know, when you're lifting something that heavy and putting it that far up there, you got to do what you got to do. So congratulations, SpaceX. You guys did a great job. But either way, real quick episode today. I've been John Norgrove. This has been Nerd Jive. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. If you're interested in any of this stuff or any of my photography or our cosplay work or anything like that, go to nerdjive.com. Check that out. We have a website now, almost like we're professionals and stuff. I mean, we're not, but it's almost like it. So yeah, fucking why not? But either way, I'll see you guys next time. Stay nerdy.